Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another War of the Visions video, and today we're going to talk about one of the coolest things coming to global this week, and that is guild raids. This is some of my favorite PvE content in the game. My guild really looks forward to these, I look forward to these, and with it coming out tomorrow, I'm starting to think about what kind of teams I'm going to be able to build, because you can't fight every one of these bosses every day. It's a lot of times better if you focus on about the 3 that you're going to be the best at, because that's all the runs you're going to get. So let's look at the bosses, let's look at the maps, and start thinking about not only what units are going to be good here, but what TMRs and buffs are going to be good, because these maps get interesting. So let's start off. Demon Chimera. This is the first one that we got told we're fighting, and let's look at what you can do against this guy. So here's his stats. You see it on the screen. This is his max level stats, by the way. You're looking at a ton of HP. Okay, that's obvious. We know we're not going to one-shot these when we get to the end, but what's going to be good against him? Now, according to WoTVCalc.com, which, by the way, fantastic resource. If you are not using WoTV-calc.com for like all your WoTV needs, you're missing out on a bunch of stuff. But obviously, dark element unit, right? So he's going to be weak to light. So you're thinking, what kind of light team can I build here? I'm not seeing any attack type weaknesses on this board. So probably any sort of light chaining you want to do would be fine. Again, remember, if you're magic chaining, you don't actually get an additional benefit from magic chaining. You do get the light chain, but the magic itself doesn't chain. So something like slashing or missile might be a better option. Status effect wise, this dude is immune to like everything. So you're not going to be looking to status effect him. And his other things right here, right? Very accurate unit, 60 accuracy. You're not going to be able to debuff his HP into oblivion and beat him like that. He's also not going to be able to have his magic or attack debuffed. So, note, you might be able to steal time against this guy. You might want to run a steal time unit, chain him down through CT manipulation. You can't slow him. He's 999% immune to that. But this could be a big steal time candidate. So maybe a light chaining team with steal time could be the way to go here. For me, I'd be looking at like Starlight Elena, Rob, my best light slashing units, and then mix in a thief, right? Mix in somebody who can do that stealing time stuff for me. That's the way I'm going to go here. Remember as well, I believe you can debuff on this guy. It doesn't say here that he's immune to this. So you could look to debuff attack type resistances if that's an option you have on any of the bosses as well. Okay, his moves that he can do, if you're worried about this, he does have a normal attack. He has a buff, Devilish Space, which gives him elemental resistance up 15% for 3 turns. He has Dark Tackle, which is a striking-based dark attack, single target with blind. He has Arrow Blast, magic-based wind attack with healing power down, and then Water Blast, which is an agility debuff. Watch out for the agility debuff, especially if you're going for chaining. You don't want to get agility debuff. Stealing time probably going to be the way to go here. If we look at his map, here's the map for this guy. Now, he is this big red square. If you've never seen one of these maps before, they're pretty dang cool. The numbers in the squares represent height. So the zeros, that's your flat ground, right? That's like your starting base height. 1 is like obviously up 1, 2 is up 2, 3 up, yeah, you get it, right? It's not that hard. Now, here's the boss, here's his ads. Sometimes you just ignore the ads because whatever. The thing here, you only get 2 starting positions close to the boss. These guys are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 spaces away from the boss. 10. That's a lot. So you're going to look back here at maybe running some TMRs for turn 1 that give you a move up buff or something like that. If you're really looking to close the gap, TMRs on these fights with a move jump buff are going to be a really big deal, I think, on a lot of these maps for a lot of people. Otherwise, you're going to waste some of your valuable turns trying to close the gap. Okay, that's Devil Chimera. That's a little preview for him. How about Two-Headed Dragon? Here's our guy. Obviously, he's going to be weak to dark because he is light, so dark is going to have a chance to pop off this week. And y'all know you have dark slashers. Like dark slashing, the most prevalent PvE comp in global for sure. Note here, he is actually weak to slow. And that's a big deal because he's weak to slow, but if you look down here, he's immune to CT change. So you can't steal time from him. You can't like reduce his CT in any way. You're not going to be able to do it. You want to chain this guy big, look for a slow. I think that's the big tip here. If we look at his moves, he's pretty basic. Like, he has a buff for himself, a basic attack, and then he has 2 magic attacks, a fire and a ice attack, that debuff the resistance to the other attack. So, like, he's probably going to go, like, double break fire first, and then hit those same people with double break ice next that will do bonus damage. I'm never really worried about these guys killing me. I'm mostly worried about running out of turns, because that's a big deal in these fights. Let's look at his map. Here's your 2-headed dragon map. A very similar situation to the last one. He's up here on a height 2. So there's like a platform right here, right? Range, or it's height 2. Then there's ways to get up, these like height 1 steps right here. Your whole party's back here on the flat ground. So he's up on some sort of like pedestal looking deal. You get 2 units that are relatively close, like really not that close. You have a medium range unit that's borderline long range, and then you've got the way back club in the back. Like position 4, let's say position 3 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 spots away. Position 4 also 9. Like, that's a long way. That's a long way. A lot of gap closing, so keep that in mind when you're building your gear, thinking about your buffs, etc. Okay, let's look at Siren next. Siren, water element, right? So your lightning unit's gonna pop off. Great. She is also slowable. So another unit we're bringing a slow is gonna be a big deal. Titus, anybody? Titus, sounds like a Titus. Good. Then if we look at her other buffs right here, right? She has a lot of accuracy. She's also immune to CT change, so no stealing time, things like that. She's not going to be able to be debuffed, including her agility. If we go back to 2-headed dragon, you can't debuff his agility either. It's a really good way of slowing these mobs down, except if they're 999 points resistant to it. Slow is the way. Slow's going to be your friend in a lot of these fights. Her skills, she has a normal attack, she's got water and wateraga. Really basic. Another thing to note here, another thing to pay attention to is their species. And I'm going to go back and we'll look at the old ones. When you're building killers, right? When you're putting an Esper build together and you're looking to really maximize your damage, killers are nice. You could run elemental killers like Water Killer, but she's a Nether Beast. So you can also run Nether Beast Killer to get some more damage. They're all different. 2-headed dragon, obviously, is a dragon. Devil Chimera is a beast and a demon. So 2 different killers will work on him. Siren, Nether Beast is the way to go. Okay, let's look at her map. It's another interesting one. She starts up here in the top right. She's got a couple adds. This is a map with 2 flat areas on the sides with kind of a little like rise into the middle. Think about like we have a lot of PvP maps that are like this, where the parties start on like opposite sides and there's a little kind of like platform in the middle. I really don't think height is going to be a big deal here. It's again range. Now, at least on this one, you have a lot of medium options. You got a couple close ones. Position 7 right here and position 6 are very close to the boss. Easily able to do damage on their first turn. 0, 1, 2 are fairly close, and then even position 4, you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 8 spots away. So this is a tighter map. We'll give you a chance to maybe get that slow on early, get your buffs going, and then just tee off on the boss. This is one of the easiest looking maps to me that we're gonna get. So that's pretty cool. Okay, Typhoon is next. And in my news video today, a lot of people pointed out that I was a genius and said, oh yeah, you want to bring your Earth teams to fight Typhoon, and yeah. You don't. You don't. You specifically 20% don't want to bring Earth teams to fight Typhoon. You want to bring Ice teams to fight Typhoon. Big brain moment for me. Excellent. Let's check out the rest of his stats here, though. Obviously, Ice, the way to go. He is slowable. In fact, he's weak to slow, so you have a good chance of landing those. But back here, in these others, again, he's immune to CT change, and he's immune to having his agility debuffed. This is a theme of these mobs. Slow is the way to go, it looks like, because you're not going to steal time from this guy. Let's look at his skills. He has a normal attack. He has Squeeze, which is a short-range striking attack, and then Storm Acid Rain, which is just a little AoE magic attack with a defense debuff on it. Really not scared of this guy killing me, but again, if you're going to chain, Ice chains with slow, the way to go. How about his map? Okay, not bad map, I think. He starts down here in the bottom right, couple adds over here, a lot of flat ground, right? Look at all these zeros. You're really, again, not going to have a height problem on this map. He's on the little like 1-up platform, but position 7 and 6 are very close. And then the rest of them are kind of like medium to long away. Any of these positions, I think you're going to be able to get to him within the second turn relatively easily. And if you're not, again, this is where you can look for a TMR buff that increases your movement range. Don't worry about height here. We'll talk about height in just a second, because last up on this list is Shiva. Shiva is a nether beast. Typhoon is a demon. I don't know if I covered that on Typhoon. He's a demon, so demon killer. Shiva, nether beast killer. That's the way to go. AKA Esper. Nether beast equals Esper. So if you have Esper killer, and you didn't know this, they're the same thing. Okay, Shiva. Let's look at what she's got. Obviously weak to fire, so fire's going to get another chance. My fire team last time did amazingly good. Rain, King Mont, Slash Chains, I had Classy Glassy in there. We're going to have Setia now. I think Fire's going to have a good raid. Note, you cannot actually slow Shiva. She is immune to it. She's one of the 2 that are. But if we look down here, CT manipulations on the table. You can steal time, you can reduce her CT, things like that are going to be good here. So if you're a big fan, if you are just hard set on running a thief and using steal time to build up some chains, Shiva is for you, and Demon Chimera is for you. Those are the only 2 you can do it on. Her moves, she's got normal attack, Blizzard, Blizzaga, and then Diamond Dust, the limit break. Pretty cool. Pretty basic there. Let's look at her map, because her map is anything but pretty basic. Okay, first thing you're going to notice, there's a lot of big numbers on this map. A whole lot of big numbers. There's some 6s on here. Freaking 6. So, here's where Shiva spawns. Down here towards the bottom left with her ads. She's on a height 2 platform, next to some mobs on a height 1 platform, next to the bottom of a pit or something. Now, it goes up to 3 here, 4 here, 5 here. So 2 of your allies spawn within sort of medium range of her, but you can't just cut over this way unless you have at least jump 2, where you can move here, jump down from height 5 to height 3, and then engage the boss. Now, you can always use hate or something to try and move the boss around, but that is trickier. It's better to just be able to go with the boss. So some jump would be a really nice thing here. You're not going to probably want to have to walk over here, then walk over here, then walk this way. That seems like a really inefficient way to do it. Position 7 right here, really easy access. Yes, you start on height 1, but there's literally a step right in front of you. You just walk up there. Only 3 spaces away. Any unit in the game can just go boop, 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 and they're right there ready to hit. Literally, you'd have to put bow tie on to not be able to get there in 1 turn. Don't do that. That seems really weird. Okay, position 6. Again, this is an easy position here, really close. Only 4 spaces away, and everybody has at least jump 1, so you can get straight there. And then we have these folks, right? Way back, far away. Some even up on height 5. But they're just going to have to maneuver this way, right? So again, I think here you're looking at more of a movement buff being good. Here, a jump buff or units with jump 2 being able to close this gap right here could be really nice, especially if the boss ends up walking this way. So those are kind of the things I'm thinking of to get prepared here. And there you go. I don't know how helpful a video like this is. I don't know if you guys maybe didn't know about this site. If all this did was kind of show you the kind of tools that are available on WoTV Calc, totally worth watching this video just for that. But yeah, I'm starting to think about my teams right now, getting them ready for tomorrow. Good luck, everybody, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.